Oh, hey, good morning, sport. So you invoked a home game, and reality's setting in. Get me. But what is a home game? Where does it come from? How does it even work? What did you do? Let's educate the whole neighborhood on Mr. Norseman's favorite thing in the whole wide world. Combat sports. Narfling the Garthok. But most folks would call it trial by combat. Historically, this practice goes back to many cultures and countries, from France to the Roman Empire. Historically, it is debated, but Tacitus said that it was witnessed by the Germanic tribes as a custom. And you invoked it on my friend Coach. Let's get into it. Many aspects of this are considered a bit outdated, perhaps illegal. So we're going to have to adapt that in modern times in the later half of this video. However, there were 4 reasons home game was invoked, though there were exceptions. To settle legal matters or debts. Things that are honor related like you did. You know, things like slander. You ever heard that term, 'cause reasons? While it was uncommon, sometimes it was just 'cause reasons. And the last reason was to sidestep the court or judicial system that they kind of had at what was called the thing. There is an extremely important aspect of the rules I would like to point out at this very moment. Your FAFO moment. The challenged was allowed to choose a surrogate. The challenger, which would be you, is not. As noted in Hrolf's Saga and Egil's Saga, that would be so bullies don't get their way all the time. Because generally the ones with honor would step in to defend the weak. Because honor was a thing back then. Challengers had to be extremely careful because they didn't know who they were challenging and their friend network. People like me. Now then, how can we adapt home gang, or what was called Einvigi, to today's modern standard? The game generally had rules. Einvigi was kind of free and wild. Really differed from community to community, kingdom to kingdom. Whether it's the loss of 3 shields or a free-for-all, we need to adapt it to modern standards within the laws of the country this is held in. This is such a staple in the culture that they actually had home gang rings established in many communities. Some that are there today you can go see. Generally, they set up a kind of ring that was the size of a cloak or an ox hide. 4 posts were established at the corners from a hazelnut tree. Sound familiar? Some customs they sacrificed a bull before, and in others they did it after, to celebrate the victor. And there was some ritual involved in the setup of this ring. They often invoked Tyr or Ulir. In some sources they say that the ring was about the size of a sumo ring, and others 2 cloaks where each combatant would stand on each one of their individual cloaks. You asked for this. For a move that we moved to a standard MMA or boxing ring. Would like to do the hazelnut and ritual part. We could even do a cookout. Usually a challenge happens within 3 to 7 days of the challenge. I say we do months, because who doesn't love a good fight camp? Judging how you don't like to show your face, well, I bet you're gonna need some time to get ready. Let's talk about what happens when you back out. It was extremely important back then. It was considered extremely dishonorable if you back out, which Coach has not. He has nominated me. It was so bad, in fact, that this bad rap or lack of honor could lose to actual loss of legal rights. Essentially, any oath you made, or your word in general, was not valid. In fact, this affected the honor of the challenger and the challengee's families. Their currency of honor lost value as well. Should either party flee, they had a special word for that. Basically lost all rights. In fact, should you be knocked out of bounds 2 steps, it was considered fleeing and an automatic loss and loss of all rights. Even if either party lost, they were still considered to keep their honor, and the matter was resolved based on stipulations they set prior. And on to contract negotiations with the whole neighborhood as a witness. That's a nice 1488 you have there. Just don't know who we're talking about. I propose as I did the other day, where your comment comes from. MMA in a ring at the Lee Brothers in Fort Wayne, Indiana. We nominate our own charities. Pay-per-view. Show the world the face that challenge my black brother, Norse pagan, and handicapped man. Boost the morale of the general public by watching the 1488 get tied into a pretzel. Remember, you laid the challenge. I do not see why the home game cannot be adapted to modern times. Are you going to deal with the consequences of your actions, or flee, like they did in World War II? I would like to nominate the Cerebral Palsy Foundation and the Holocaust Museum. I want to make my dead Jewish grandfather laugh. In fact, I want to make a lot of people laugh at your expense. So now you're dealing with me. Welcome to my neighborhood. Ah, cha 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 cha.